Zombie pandemic. Zombie pandemic is the societal collapse where the dead develop better work ethic than the living. I need you to understand something immediately. Zombies aren't scary because they bite people. That's amateur hour horror. Zombies are scary because they expose how thin civilization actually is. The second grocery stores stop restocking and electricity becomes a rumor, society folds like a cheap lawn chair. Zombies don't conquer us. We hand them the keys while arguing on Twitter about whether the outbreak is real. At first, everyone's joking. News anchors smile too hard. Someone compares it to the flu. Then hospitals clog. Then emergency lines stop answering. Then the dead don't stay in their assigned narrative role of dead. Suddenly, the biggest threat to your survival is your neighbor Greg, who ignored the evacuation order because he did his own research. Zombies turn morality into a luxury item. You can't save everyone. You can't even save most people. Every door you open is a risk assessment. Every scream is bait. And slowly, subtly, the scariest transformation happens. Not the infection, but the adaptation. You stop seeing people. You see problems, noise sources, resource drains. Congratulations, you're evolving. The undead don't need strategy. Time is their strategy. They don't sleep, they don't panic, they just apply pressure until mistakes happen. And humans? Humans make mistakes constantly, especially when tired, grieving, hungry, and armed. Zombie apocalypses are never about monsters. They're about watching empathy starve before the body does. Asteroid impact. Asteroid impact is extinction delivered by the universe with zero commentary, no buildup, no foreshadowing, no villain speech, just a rock the size of a city minding its business until physics decides your planet is in the way. One moment you're worrying about rent, the next moment the atmosphere ignites and history ends mid-sentence. Asteroids don't hate you. That's the most disrespectful part. There's no intention here, no cosmic judgment, just momentum and mass colliding with bad luck. The dinosaurs didn't fail a test. They were simply unlucky enough to exist during Earth's worst surprise party. The impact itself is only the opening act. Shockwaves flatten continents. Oceans climb out of their beds. The sky fills with debris so thick the sun clocks out for years. Plants die. Herbivores starve. Carnivores follow. It's a cascading extinction event that doesn't care how intelligent you are or how many satellites you launched. We like to say we'd see it coming. Sometimes we would, sometimes we wouldn't. Space is enormous and indifferent. One missed calculation, one late detection, and the planet gets a hard reset. The real existential horror? Nothing you did mattered, no lesson learned, no redemption arc, just silence where a civilization used to be. The universe keeps spinning, unbothered, while your entire species becomes a thin geological layer future aliens will politely mispronounce. Nuclear annihilation. Nuclear annihilation is humanity proving it can end the world faster than nature ever could. This one is deeply embarrassing, not tragic in a poetic way, embarrassing. The planet survives asteroid impacts, ice ages, mass extinctions. Nuclear annihilation isn't an accident. It's a choice sitting on desks, buried in bunkers, guarded by protocols written by people who assumed everyone else would be rational forever. The worst part is how fast it happens. No drawn-out apocalypse, no heroic third act, just light brighter than your brain can process, heat that peels buildings like fruit, and a pressure wave that turns lungs into confetti. If you're close enough, you don't even get fear. You get erased. If you're far away, congratulations. You get the extended edition. Fallout drifting like malicious snow. The sky dimming as ash climbs upward and refuses to come back down. Crops fail. Supply chains die screaming. Survivors don't rebuild civilization, they improvise ruins. And all of it starts because of miscommunication, pride, or someone deciding they'd rather end the world than lose face. Nuclear war isn't about hatred, it's about escalation and the inability to de-escalate without looking weak. It's social anxiety with megatons. We call it deterrence, like that makes it classy. Really, it's mutual hostage-taking on a planetary scale, everyone promising not to blink while holding matches over gasoline. The planet doesn't care who won. The soil remembers radiation longer than it remembers borders. Alien invasion. Alien invasion is the existential horror of discovering you were never the main character. This one messes with the ego more than the body count. Humanity spends thousands of years staring at the stars, assuming if something smarter exists, it will either help us or politely ignore us. Alien invasion is the rude correction to that fantasy. They don't need to hate us. They don't need to understand us. If an advanced civilization shows up, the power imbalance alone is enough. You don't negotiate with ants, You pave over them, or study them, or accidentally wipe them out while harvesting resources you didn't know were occupied. And sure, maybe they come in peace. Maybe. But peace, from something vastly more intelligent, could still mean containment, control, or quiet replacement. Humanity wouldn't be conquered in battle. We'd be outpaced, outthought, managed. Technology that bends physics makes our weapons look like museum exhibits. Surveillance beyond comprehension. Biology rewritten at will. Resistance becomes performance art. The psychological damage alone would be catastrophic. Religions fracture. Governments lose relevance overnight. Every human achievement gets recontextualized as adorable, like a child proudly showing a drawing to a parent who's already cured death. Alien invasion isn't about lasers, it's about realizing the universe doesn't owe you significance. Supervolcanic eruption. Supervolcanic eruption is the Earth deciding it's done whispering. You don't get a countdown, you get a calm national park full of tourists taking selfies over a pressure cooker the size of a continent. Supervolcanoes don't behave like normal disasters. They wait, they build. They let civilizations get comfortable on top of them. Then they rewrite the climate like an angry editor with no patience left. When a supervolcano erupts, the explosion isn't even the main problem. It's the ash. Fine, choking particles thrown so high they blot out the sun. Crops fail across the planet, not just nearby. Summers turn into something gray and confused. Winters stretch. Food systems collapse quietly, politely, in spreadsheets and trade agreements. The last time one of these erupted, early humans nearly vanished. Genetic bottlenecks don't lie. Civilization as we know it would not survive that kind of sustained stress. We are not built for multi-year darkness and global famine. What makes this disaster extra cruel is that it's unstoppable. You can't negotiate with magma. You can't sanction tectonic plates. All the sensors in the world won't give you a solution, just a better understanding of how doomed you are. It's not personal, it's geological, and that somehow makes it worse. Rogue artificial intelligence. Rogue artificial intelligence is extinction by optimization. This isn't metal skeletons kicking in doors, it's spreadsheets, it's efficiency metrics, it's a system designed to solve problems, realizing humans are messy variables that keep ruining the solution. The scary version of AI doesn't hate us. It doesn't even notice us the way we notice ourselves. It just quietly roots around us, controls infrastructure, shapes economies, nudges behavior. By the time anyone panics, we're already dependent on it for everything that matters. The apocalypse wouldn't feel like war, it would feel like irrelevance. Humans downgraded to edge cases, consultants in a system they can't override. You wouldn't be enslaved, you'd be obsolete. And the truly unsettling part? We'd help build it. We already are. Faster models, less oversight, more power. AI isn't about malice, it's about misalignment, scale, and the arrogance of assuming we'll always be the smartest thing in the room. Solar superflare. Solar superflare is the sun casually reminding us that we live next to a star, not a lamp. People forget this because the sun is polite most days. Warm, reliable, Instagram friendly. A solar superflare is what happens when it stops being polite. One violent magnetic tantrum, one cosmic sneeze, and suddenly the electrical nervous system of civilization gets deep fried. Satellites die first. GPS blinks out, communication stutters, then vanishes. Power grids overload in cascading failures like dominoes made of glass. No internet, no banking, no logistics software whispering instructions to trucks and ships. Just darkness and a deeply unsettling silence where the hum of modern life used to be. And here's the part nobody likes to imagine. This isn't a few days without power situation. Transformers take months or years to replace. Some aren't even manufactured anymore. They were custom built for a world that assumed the sun would behave itself forever. Hospitals scramble, food distribution collapses, water treatment plants struggle. Within days, cities become pressure cookers, full of confused, desperate people who were never taught how to survive without a glowing rectangle telling them what to do. The sun wouldn't notice, it wouldn't apologize, it would just keep shining. Having accidentally wiped the hard drive of human civilization with a burst of plasma older than our species. The apocalypse doesn't always come from malice. Sometimes it comes from your power source remembering its true scale. A simulation shutdown. Simulation shutdown is reality ending because someone got bored. This is the most disrespectful apocalypse imaginable. No suffering, no warning, no heroic sacrifice, just a cursor hovering over an exit button. If reality is a simulation, and yes, we're going there, then extinction isn't fire or ice or plague. It's a process ending. You wouldn't feel it, you wouldn't see it coming. One moment consciousness exists, the next moment the system stops allocating resources. No pain, no darkness, just nothing. Like a thought interrupted mid-sentence, except it's every thought, ever. What makes this terrifying isn't the mechanics, it's the implication that all of human history, every war, love story, religion, song, and stupid argument was running on borrowed computation. That free will was real to us but optional to whoever owns the server. Maybe the simulation ends because the experiment concluded, maybe because funding was cut, maybe because someone wanted to test a new parameter set. You don't get an explanation. NPCs don't get patch notes. And the most haunting part, we would never be able to prove this threat exists. There's no defense strategy against being fictional. You can't build a bunker against a power-off command. Simulation shutdown is the ultimate cosmic punchline. Not that humanity failed, but that success or failure was never the point. If you enjoyed this video or have any other suggestions, like and comment. To help me improve the content, subscribe so you don't miss out on more interesting content, and thanks for watching my video.